Alrighty, welcome back to another video. If you're listening to this, then you are the master of your reality. I am the master of my reality, and in today's crypto video, I want to talk about the fraudulent market. Alright, this current crypto market does not make any sense, guys. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about why it doesn't make sense and how the only way to make sense of this is by understanding that this is a fraudulent market. All markets can and usually are manipulated to some degree, but you have to understand that the nature of the cryptocurrency market, because of its virtual nature, this space is just so new and so complicated to the average investor, it makes it very easy to be manipulated. And so how are markets manipulated, you might ask? Well, really two ways in combination with each other. And one is controlling the narrative, and controlling the narrative in coordination with precisely timed large trade entries and exits. All right, and we'll talk about more on that later. But first, let's discuss the fraudulent market versus the real market. Now, what primarily fuels the fraudulent market is purely speculation. Okay, it's not fueled by utility. Okay, utility is what fuels speculation in the real market, which really has not emerged yet out of this fraudulent market. Okay, this current crypto market is driven primarily by speculation. Okay, that's why we're seeing things like Dogecoin and Shiba Inu absolutely melt faces compared to things like XRP. Pure speculation, right? And it's really amazing to see how dramatically Bitcoin has moved up in the past few weeks or so. If you haven't watched my last video where I talked about how I think the next cycle top for Bitcoin will be 77, 75 to 85, 90K, just that kind of area. We figured out the diminishing rate of returns of Bitcoin is 5.3. So if you take the previous cycle low, measure up to the cycle high, take that percentage gain, divide it by 5.3, it will give you the percentage gain for the next cycle every single time. We did this going all the way back to the very inception of Bitcoin. Every single time you divide that number by 5.3, it gives you the cycle gains for the next one. Almost exactly, almost perfectly. All right, so this pattern has been in place since the inception of Bitcoin. And then we found out that if we divide this number by 5.3, it gives you about 396, all right, about 400% for this cycle we're in here now. And so we're basically there right now, guys. We're at about 350%. It's not that much more till we hit 400%, and that's kind of right around that 75 to 85, 90K range for Bitcoin, which is also in perfect alignment with our double top trend line. Just as a quick reminder, Bitcoin is doing things that it has never done before. First of all, with this double top right here, Bitcoin's never had a bull run top that has two tops close to each other. All the previous ones have been blow off tops like that you see there. And then the other thing is we've already made a new all-time high before the halving this cycle, which I talked about in my last video how crazy that would be if it happened, and it happened. Okay, so things are playing out exactly how I kind of thought they would. Bitcoin is the talk of the town right now, and it just keeps going up, and everyone's calling for 100K plus Bitcoin, and I don't think it's going to happen. So we are in crazy times. We are in Clown World 6.0 right now. I believe we are in the final stages of this fraudulent market. Now, let's talk about what the fraudulent market actually is and what the real market is. Because make no mistake, there is a real market that has not emerged yet, that hasn't revealed itself on the main stage yet, but is there. all right, and it's just waiting for the right time to completely obliterate this fraudulent market. Make no mistake though, there is a real market, and the real market is driven by utility. We have not seen a utility bull run in this space yet. We haven't seen a bull run that is driven by businesses, financial institutions, and governments getting in this space. That will be our utility bull run, and I think it will happen this year, next year. 2024, 2025 will be a utility bull run and a death of the fraudulent market. But make no mistake, there is a real market buried underneath here. Things like XDC, right? Partnered with SBI. Look at this logo, this custom logo they had made for their partnership. XDC, what makes XDC unique compared to Bitcoin or Ethereum is its ability to execute transactions in a mere 2 seconds. That is fast. At a fraction of a cent per transaction, making it an unparalleled tool in digitizing trade finance and trade documents. Guys, there is thousands of pounds of tons of paperwork, of physical papers that are used in the trade world. All right, and XDC is going to have a major role in tokenizing those and digitizing those. Things like Stellar, working with IBM for their WorldWire service to simplify cross-border payments. All right, we also have Casper, QNT. All right, these are all partnered with IBM, a massive company that is one of the leaders in this shift to blockchain technology. All right, you have Stellar XLM being used alongside Circle USDC for Stellar Aid Assist in Ukraine. All right, they dispersed $1.1 million to internally displaced people with the UN, the UNHCR, that is the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees. And on Circle, right, they use the Stellar blockchain to send USDC, but Stellar's not the only blockchain that Circle's on. They're on all these, quite a few of them. Why did they choose Stellar out of all these choices? Well, it's probably because Stellar's probably one of the most fast and secure. It is one of the most fast and secure and cheapest blockchains to use out of all these. All right, going on now, we have all these. If you haven't taken the time to go through all these XX1133122111, that's his username on X. Check out all these documents. I do have this PDF with all of these graphics posted in our Discord. So if you want to join our Discord, where there's a lot of resources in there, check out the link in the description. You can join our Patreon to help support the channel and gain access to our private Discord. There's a lot of resources in there, and if you want to talk with me and our other members in there, you can do so as well. You can also find all these graphics online for free. You got things like VXV, Vector Space AI. That's a hidden gem right there, working in the biomedical science field, space stuff, partnered with UC Berkeley, all these big partnerships. Absolute hidden gem right there. We have, our ISO 222. I think Casper and LCX is not ISO, but they're still in the same category of utility, enterprise utilities, all these. All right, we keep going here. We got all these graphics are really great, but all the other ISO tokens and using Quant's Overledger as the interoperability protocol. Let's keep going here. We got things like Casper. Casper's pretty cool because I think it's the only one that I know of that does upgradable smart contracts. Also, multi-language. It's like I think WebAssembly. It's a multi-programming language blockchain, so that it's not just limited to developers that only know C++ or whatever language that you know to code with. You can use Casper. So that's a pretty big deal. All right, moving on. We got things like HBAR, right? I'm not even going to explain how much utility HBAR has. Just look at its partners, its founding members: Google, Boeing, T-Mobile, IBM, LG. These massive companies want to use Hedera Hashgraph for its smart contract capabilities. Hopefully these graphics are pretty valuable to you guys. We got Algorand, right? That's a really interesting consensus mechanism. They're pure proof of stake, which is patented by Algorand. Probably the best, most secure way of validating a blockchain. Definitely look into pure proof of stake protocol. That's Algorand's consensus mechanism. Once you understand just how that works, you understand this is probably the best, most secure protocol to use to validate a blockchain. And check out Algorand's partnerships, right? They just have massive ecosystem, university partnerships, right? The programmers and stuff learning at these big universities are learning how to code on Algorand. And then we got things like DAG. Where's DAG? Partnered with the Air Force, right, for secure bandwidth. This is like a layer 0, so they can build communication protocols on here. Another ISO 222. But the point of all this, me showing you all this, is that there is 100% blockchains out there that aren't relying on speculative pump and dumps and degen communities to pump their bags. They're just waiting for them to be used, right? They're building the partnerships. They're building their protocols and their software out so that when these organizations and financial institutions are ready to utilize their protocols and their services, that is what will drive these prices to ridiculous amounts, right? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about price action and what makes prices go up, okay? What makes prices go up? Okay, don't be fooled by the ETF news, guys. I don't think the ETFs are the main driver for this price right now. Yeah, they probably have an impact on price. I think that this market is being driven by pure speculation right now and some manipulation. So two ways price go up, okay? two ways number go up. One is just pure speculation. Price goes up a little bit and then people see the price going up, so they buy. That causes the price to go up even more, and the only reason people are buying is because number go up. That is pure speculation, and it can only last so long. You can only there's only so many buyers out there, right? And once they've all bought, well, then all there's left is now sellers. People that got in early, they're going to start selling. That is just pure speculation, and it always comes back to reality. Okay? And so if a project has no utility, if it's not solving a problem, and it's crazily inflated because of speculation, it's going to have to come back to reality. It's going to have to come back to its real value of its utility. Now, utility also causes speculation, but the difference is the important thing to note here with pure speculation versus utility causing speculation is speculation will never create utility, okay? But utility will always create speculation. All right, let me say that again. Speculation will never create utility, but utility will always create speculation. It's just a matter of when people become aware of its utility. That's why we're not seeing the tokens with real utility perform right now, because people are only aware, they're only paying attention to the ones that are driven by speculation, because those are the ones that are having the gains right now, right? Check out the 7-day performance of all these meme coins. They're all up like hundreds of percent. Why are cryptos with no utility drastically outperforming the ones with real utility? All right, we have the ISO 222 certified cryptos right here. Check out the 7-day performance on those, right? There's only one that is double digits, or two, okay? Everything else is just doing nothing, basically. And that's on purpose, all right? That is just because everyone's attention is on these shit coins, for lack of a better term. So why are the cryptos with no utility drastically outperforming the ones with utility? The answer is that we are in the final stages of a fraudulent market, okay? We are, and you can see this in the charts, right? Here, I want to show y'all, this is the XRP to Bitcoin chart. This makes a lot of sense with what we've seen. XRP really not doing anything while Bitcoin is making new all-time highs. All right, the value of XRP against Bitcoin is going down. Now, if I turn these lines back on, you can see there's a support line that's been in place since 2014, and we are breaking that, but you know, we've broken it in the past and for very, very short amount of time. So we are in XRP FUD sentiment right now, which is the perfect place to be backing up the truck and loading up your bags on XRP, not financial advice. All right. I kind of had these boxes here drawn out in like the sentiment for XRP. Usually when we were in this area, you know, we had some XRP hype and we weren't there for long. This is where we spent the majority of our trading range, in this uncertain accumulation zone, as I call it. And right now we are in, you know, very oversold against Bitcoin territories for XRP. Usually a great time to be buying. Again, not financial advice. And so I guess the main point I wanted to articulate is that don't be fooled by these crazy gains in things that have no utility. That is just the most risky thing you can do, is to buy something that's up hundreds of percent thinking that it's just going to keep going higher with no real utility behind it. You know, these meme coins are not just going to keep going up forever, especially when things with real utility finally become utilized and start outperforming things without utility. That is inevitable to happen. And when that starts happening, people will begin to sell their more speculative bags for things that are going up because they are being utilized, right? And so that's just kind of where we're at right now, where we're kind of at this final moments of this clown market. You know, probably right on the verge of some major catalyst on the world stage that will basically forces these financial institutions and governments to finally adopt the blockchain technology that has utility to solve problems. Let's check out this this clip from Brad Garlinghouse about that.
Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse, he joins us right now. And you know, David, some say Ripple could be the next Bitcoin. What do you think, Brad? Is that a compliment that Ripple could be the next Bitcoin?
Well, I think if we're solving a real problem and it's at scale, then I think it's a compliment. I think the most important thing that is going on in crypto is understanding what is real and what is just hype. Some, I think, may look back on Bitcoin and find that it was the Napster of digital assets. What I mean by that is Napster was the first to digitize music and demonstrate, hey, if you digitize music, you can do a lot of cool things with that. But ultimately, they were circumventing trademark laws, they were circumventing royalty payments, and government stepped in, and Napster was not successful. But Spotify, iTunes, Pandora, they were very successful. I think what you'll find is that maybe the next generation of digital assets ends up solving some of the original problems that Bitcoin set out to solve.
So Ripple Net.
So the most important thing is being able to discern what is real and what is fake in this market. And you do that by research, okay? Most people are not doing any research. They are just, you know, listening to what the mainstream media is saying, or their favorite, you know, crypto YouTuber or whatever. And so you have to be able to discern what is real and what's not. And you do that by doing your own research, okay? I never want you guys to just take my word for something. I want you to do your own research and to make sure what I'm saying is true, right? Because that's the only way that it becomes your own truth, your own knowledge, is by you verifying for yourself that what I'm saying is accurate. There's another good clip of Brad in Davos talking about how most of these cryptos will go away eventually. You know, there's like 13,000 or according to CoinMarketCap, like 2 million cryptos right now. And so most of those don't have any real utility or any partnerships. They're just purely speculation, Ponzi scheme, pump and dump projects. And most of those will go away once the real market emerges. Once crypto starts being utilized by enterprise and governments, it's just going to completely wipe everything else out of the water, because people are going to realize, why would I hold this dog coin, this Bitcoin that no one's using, when XRP is being used, or DAG or XLM, or pick any crypto with real utility is being used, and that utility is causing the price to rise. You no longer have to rely on the Ponzi scheme, just other people buying, to pump your bags, right? You now have a business that is using the technology you're investing in to pump your bags. So it's still speculation. It's just, instead of it being pure speculation, you now have utility behind that speculation.
Well, a couple of reactions. One is, in some ways, she's in good company. There's others like Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger who've made derogatory comments. But not that long ago, Jamie Dimon, someone who said they thought Bitcoin was, I think, a fraud, and has subsequently come around and realized that, in my judgment, this is an industry that is not going away. It's valued today at about $1.2, $1.3 trillion. But I do think, I've spoken to Christine Lagarde personally, and I think we need to stop
Spoken to Christine Lagarde personally.
measuring it just by what's going on with the overall value and how are these assets being used to solve real world problems. And I think time and time again, we're seeing more and more real use cases solving real scaled problems where blockchain technologies can reduce friction measured by cost and speed in a way that I think improves the overall economy.
Does the fact that these 19,000 cryptocurrencies have been largely used as speculative assets do damage to the underlying case that you're arguing for?
I think absolutely yes. And it's frustrating. I said when they're about 2,000, so as you said correctly, there's about 19,000 today. When they're at,
because it's a distraction, guys. You understand why this speculation does damage to the tokens with real utility, is because it distracts people by these ridiculous gains. They're so easily manipulated that people are glued on Dogecoin up 100% in the past 7 days. It makes the ones with real utility sound boring. And until the utility is basically forced, until the price action driven by utility outperforms price action driven by speculation, we're not going to see this fraudulent market go away and the real market appear.
2,000, I got some heat from the crypto market by saying that something like 99% of them I thought would go to zero. And that wasn't a popular statement, suggesting that only 20 would be around. Well, now you have 19,000. My prediction, at least for now, has been moved the wrong direction. But, there are some tokens out there that are focused on solving a problem. And those are ones that I can see being used in the future. And we could give a number of different examples. Some of them are present here in Davos. But there's also ones that I look at, I hear the description, and I don't get it. And I think there is risk, as Christine Lagarde commented. They are speculative, they are risky, but that doesn't mean there isn't real opportunity.
Right. So amidst all this BS, you have the diamonds in the rough, the needles in the haystack, that you have to sift through all the BS to figure out which ones are actually solving a problem and have good partnerships, and those are the ones that will rise out of the ashes of this fraudulent market once it collapses. Now, one thing about utility is that it has to be allowed, right? You're not going to see financial institutions, major enterprises, and governments come into the space until it is regulated. All right, so regulation is a pretty big step that is needed for utility to emerge, for the real market to emerge, right? As of now, XRP is the only digital asset with legal clarity. So far, this is the only legal clarity in the US for digital assets. XRP as a digital token is not in and of itself a contract, transaction, or scheme that embodies the Howey requirements of an investment contract. right? It depends how it's sold. The statement, therefore, having considered the economic reality and totality of circumstances, the court concludes that Ripple's programmatic sales of XRP did not constitute the offer and sale of investment contracts. Programmatic sales of XRP are not securities. XRP by itself is not a security. All right. So this is the best regulation or legal clarity that we have right now, and it's only for XRP. Now, in regards to the fraudulent market, there are people who will claim that Bitcoin and Ethereum are not securities that have legal clarity by the speech that was given in 2018 from Bill Hinman. All right, so if you haven't heard this, let's listen to where he says that Bitcoin and Ethereum are not securities.
So when I look at Bitcoin today, I don't see a central third party whose efforts are a key factor in determining the success of that enterprise. The network on which Bitcoin functions is operational, appears to have been decentralized for some time, perhaps from inception. Applying the disclosure regime of the federal securities laws to the offer and resale of Bitcoin would seem to add little value. Moreover, putting aside the fundraising that accompanied the creation of Ether, based on my understanding of the present state of Ether, the Ethereum network, its decentralized structure, we believe current offers and sales of Ether are not securities transactions.
All right, so according to this guy, Bitcoin and Ethereum are not securities because they are sufficiently decentralized. This guy's speech is the only reason, one of the only reasons why Bitcoin and Ethereum are number one and number two. All right, this is not legal clarity. This is this man's opinion, okay? And if you do your research into ETHgate, you'll find out that his law firm was heavily invested in Ethereum. So it makes sense why he would want Ethereum to be perceived as not a security, have this false clarity, to pump his bags. So this is a good video by the Crypto Law TV. Shout out to John Deaton. So let's watch this.
In 2017, when William Hinman was named Director of Corporation Finance at the SEC, he fought behind the scenes while in office to keep getting millions of dollars in payments from his old law firm, Simpson Thacher. Hinman was warned repeatedly that this meant if he did anything as a public official that affected Simpson Thacher, he'd be breaking the law. Simpson Thacher joined the enterprise Ethereum Alliance, a group with the sole mission to promote Ethereum, while paying Hinman millions. In 2018, Hinman gave a high-profile speech declaring that Ethereum's digital token, Ether, is not a security.
We believe current offers and sales of Ether are not securities transactions.
The price of Ether immediately took off.
That was after the comments by the SEC. So, interesting market action there, right? Whoa.
Did William Hinman break the law? Federal rules say that even the appearance of a conflict is a serious violation by public officials. How did this happen? Why was Hinman allowed to promote Ether in a speech given his financial conflicts?
How did this happen? Well, corruption and money, greed is how that happened. They had their pump, right? The outcome of this speech has already come and gone, okay? Bitcoin and Ethereum and all the other ICOs on Ethereum here after this speech, those were the main focus point of last cycle's bull run. This pump run right now is completely fraudulent and will be short-lived. But I wanted y'all to see the Hinman speech because this goes into how our markets manipulated. Remember, controlling the narrative in coordination with precisely timed large trade entries and exits. So he was controlling the narrative by giving this speech, creating false legal clarity around Bitcoin and Ethereum, manipulating the narrative, and getting all the eyes away from things that actually have real utility. So don't be fooled by the Bitcoin ETF, right? I know everyone's saying that the ETFs are going to swallow up all of Bitcoin, and that's really not the case. If you look at the Bitcoin ownership distribution, only about 4% of Bitcoin are in the funds or ETFs. All right, that's still a pretty small amount, right? Almost 60% of Bitcoin is held by individuals. Okay, and I would say probably only 10% of that is like retail investors. Probably the majority of this is like large whales. And so it doesn't matter how much demand the ETF is creating if one of these whales wants to sell. All right, that's going to tank Bitcoin. And I think that's kind of what we're seeing right now in the charts. There is been a lot of resistance at this all-time high at least twice now, where we broke the all-time high right here, massive sell-off, broke the all-time high here, big sell-off, and now we're just continuing to eat through these limit orders. The buyers are still coming in, and it's all part of their plan, guys. It's the largest holders of Bitcoin know about utility. They understand that Bitcoin has no utility, and that eventually one day projects with utility will outperform Bitcoin and take its spot as number one. So their primary goal is to get out of Bitcoin at good prices. They want to get out at the top. And so they're selling right now. I firmly believe that these large sells at near all-time high are from large whales that are getting out of Bitcoin right in time, right before utility takes off. All right, so we have the perception. All right, we have the manipulation of the perception of Bitcoin by the Bitcoin talking heads like Michael Saylor, the media. I think even Jim Cramer now has flipped bullish on Bitcoin. Says buy Bitcoin as soon as it is broken 70K. So they're trying to get the retail investors to be their exit liquidity, so they can exit Bitcoin into things with utility right before this utility happens. All right, the second part of market manipulation is precisely timed large trade entry and exits, right? And Tether's been printing money like a madman. All right, I think they printed just like $2 billion in the past 2 days or something like that. We have all these fake quote unquote audit reports. These are not actual audits. These are actually just attestations, which is very different from an audit. An attestation is like just a peek, a temporary peek for a moment in time into someone's bank account to make sure they have the funds. So they can easily, kind of skew these reports by just, getting some money in a bank account while the snapshot is taken for this report. And then, a couple days later, that money's gone. That's kind of how this is working. And so Tether is a ticking time bomb, in my opinion. All right, so now I'm sure everyone is wondering, well, all right, so when is the utility market going to arise? When XRP moon? And so I have 3 scenarios for you that we're going to go over now. And basically those 3 are before, during, or shortly after the fraudulent market collapses. I think you'll see the real market emerge, the utility market emerge. Let's talk about before. The only way that you'd see utility like XRP take off before the fraudulent market collapses is if new whales, being financial institutions, governments, or individuals, enter the market ahead of the current market manipulators' predictions, the current largest holders, the current whales' predictions. They probably have their own timeline of how they think it's going to play out, and are trying to position themselves, to get out of the fraudulent market just in time for the real market to emerge. The only reason I consider this is because we don't know at the end of the day if there will be new whales, or if the current whales are basically the gatekeepers of this utility market and are waiting to the very last minute before it has to be utilized for them to enter the utility market. And so that's scenario 1, where new whales come in out of the blue, but this would trigger the current market whales, the current manipulators. If new whales came in, then the current whales would liquidate their positions in the speculative fraudulent market, because they realize, oh shit, it's go time. So they'd liquidate, and that would be your XRP kills Bitcoin scenario, where XRP just, skyrockets out of nowhere, and then people are caught off guard, and so they exit Bitcoin and the more speculative plays for the utility coins. The second scenario is during, okay, so on the day, a massive transfer of wealth from the speculative market to the utility market basically in real time. This is your handing off the baton scenario. This is, I think, more likely than utility just skyrocketing before a collapse out of the blue. Because I do think at the end of the day that the current manipulators, the largest holders of Bitcoin, the gatekeepers of utility, they're going to be the ones that initiate the rise of utility. So that's your handing off the baton scenario. Another scenario, which I think probably is the most likely, is we see utility, we see XRP Moon right after the collapse of this current fraudulent market. And that means everything goes down, including XRP. So, you know, this could be like a financial crisis that causes systemic failures in crypto as well as the broader financial system. You know, Tether collapse, financial institutions now forced to use XRP to avoid further losses. You know, if they have to send money around, if they have to restructure stuff, then they don't want to be waiting days or a week for that money to transfer. You know, that'd be a great excuse for them to use XRP to settle in 3 to 5 seconds. And so this would be your phoenix rising from the ashes, where, you know, everything collapses. You know, XRP collapses pretty good, and then shortly after, you know, the dip is bought, and then we make new all-time highs shortly after that. Let me bring up these fibs to kind of show you what I mean. So we'll just do some real quick technical analysis here to give you a technical outlook. So I just pulled a bearish fib from about 43 cents to 75 cents. And so we are playing out this inverse Wyckoff pattern flawlessly right now. We have a, I guess, selling climax, automatic rally, sell off to the emerald zone, right? You can see that the 0.786 to the 0.1618. That is complete, and then we get bought back. We are getting rejected at the 236, which is your technical Wyckoff level. So from here, it would make sense to travel back to this emerald zone if we don't. Kind of going on with that third scenario where we have a, you know, massive financial crisis that liquidates a lot of crypto. We could see XRP go as low as 31 cents. That would be in perfect alignment with our previous support around 30 cents. That would be also your 1.618 target of this Fibonacci extension. I'm not saying this to create any FUD. That would be the best buying opportunity for XRP that we ever get again. And, you know, I do think that shortly after that we would see a massive explosion in price, kind of similar to what we saw in the, you know, right before XRP's 2017 run, where we sold off and had a massive liquidation event right before we just absolutely melted faces and went on to make new all-time highs. So what could cause this event, you know, this systemic financial crisis? Well, the one thing that is kind of sticking out to me is the, what was it, the Federal Reserve Bank Term Funding Program ends on March 11th. So now we have Fed Powell saying there will be bank collapses. Listen to this.
There will be bank failures, but this is not the big banks. If you look at the very big banks, it's not a first-order issue for any of the very large banks. It's more, you know, smaller and medium-sized banks that have these issues. We're working with them. We're getting through it. I think it's manageable is the word I would use, but it's, you know, it's a very active thing for us and the other regulators, and it will be for some time.
There will be bank failures. It's not going to be the big ones that fail. The smaller banks will collapse and they will be bought up, consolidated by the bigger banks. This is the plan. And again, this Federal Reserve Bank Term Funding Program, this was the program that was created after the Silicon Valley Bank collapsed to prevent more banks from collapsing, basically like a bailout. I think they did bail-ins this time, or they're preparing to do bail-ins where they just take the depositors' money as, to bail themselves out. They just take your money basically instead of the Fed just printing money to bail them out. That's a bailout. Bail-in is where they just take their depositors' money. And so, we have the chairman of the Fed saying that there will be bank collapses, bank failures, but it's going to be the small banks that collapse. So we could see a domino falling of small bank failures, along with Tether collapse, and maybe some more cyber incidents. We've had several consecutive outages, cyber issues going on recently. And so this is the narrative, guys. I'm just laying everything out there, what to expect, this event to be, that will be the catalyst for adoption of this new financial system. The ISO 220 tokens with real utility make up. That's pretty much all I have for this video. Just wanted to explain to y'all why this is a fraudulent market, not to be tricked into investing in some of these more speculative plays, while the real market, the real utility price action is just around the corner, guys. We just have to wait it out. Let them have their fun. Let them have their fun with their little, dinosaur chicken nugget cryptos, and we'll wait for our nice grass-fed, grass-finished, juicy steak to finish cooking. Oh, not this. Not that. No, I meant this juicy steak. Yes. So that's it for this video. If you found value in it, please, please, please share this video so people don't get absolutely wrecked in some of these speculative plays. All right, we went over, I showed y'all the ISO, I showed y'all the graphics for the utility tokens in this video. So there's a lot of value in this video. Leave a like if you enjoyed it, and comment down below. Let me know what you think will be the catalyst to kill the speculation, this fraudulent market. Do you think XRP will moon right before a fraudulent market collapse? During, will there be a massive transfer of wealth from speculative market to utility market? Or will we see a massive crypto collapse across the board, presenting the best last minute buying opportunities we will see in projects with real utility? Let me know in the comments, guys. Appreciate every one of you for watching. Much love, and until next time, master your reality.